I think the largest agency in the world does 15 billion a year in revenue, if I'm not mistaken.
What do the
Uh,
margins look like?
Terrible though. They're like 3 to 5%. So it's crazy how large these service businesses can get. But I don't know if a 3% profit margin business is a very healthy one.
For sure not.
Like that's like a Walmart strategy. It works, but it's just like it seems like a common theme in agencies where even at a small level, if you look at people doing like any like 50K a month or 100K a month or 200K a month, like I did the same thing. I made the same mistake. Like they hire too many people, and
Yeah.
the company gets too big and too slow, way too fast, and it kills the margins of the business. And it's really hard to keep growing it past that point or really invent anything new.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things when growing an agency is to always try and be as lean as possible. Obviously, easier said than done, but um, the leaner you can keep things, the more clients you can assign to a client success manager, meaning the less client success managers you need at scale, or clients per setter, and certain things like that. And I think the big thing to focus on is definitely the system behind what your setters or client success managers or whatever are using, because the better systems they have to help them is they do their task and their job quicker, the more people they're going to be able to handle, more lean your team can be at scale.
1,000%. By the way, your camera setup is looking nice.
Thank you. And then the lighting's kind of iffy, but hey, well, next episode will be a lot better.
Got that like 50% shadow.
Yeah, I got like a light blinding me over there, and then like no light over there. So
I love it, dude.
maybe I'll move
Camera
that.
ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like, since we've both done it, like, what when you were starting to scale your agency, what you've cut your team, your front end team back from what 12 people to 2 people or something?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think at our peak we maybe had 15 setters on the front end.
Crazy.
And the first things first is a lot of these people are just sitting around doing. I mean, probably half the team is barely making 1,000 calls a month. It's like they're not even there, pretty much. So that was the first thing, is just realizing like we need to have a way stricter minimum, and that wiped off half the people right off the get go. Um, with that being said as well, then I mean, I developed further systems, as far as better pickup rates, quicker ways to get contacts with leads, ways to warm leads up before we actually have the initial contact with them, and all those helped increase our conversion rate to where now we're getting somewhere in the ballpark of 17% dial to meeting book rates. And obviously with that, I can go from 15 setters to 10, 10 to 5, and ultimately we're only at one setter right now. We are currently pacing
Wow.
for 140 meetings this month with one setter. So now what happens is that one setter can earn way more. So the OTEs of the role skyrocket, because instead of having 5 people earning 2K a month, I can have one person earning 10, right?
Yeah.
And then with that also being said, way lower management, right? It's one person. I got to train one person. I have to make one person amazing. I have to give one person the best system possible, not 10 or 15 where 5 slack off and you got to, constantly churn people in and out. It's way easier to manage at scale.
Right. And I think that goes for everything, like every part of the business. And the crazy thing is, like, you can structure it like that.
Yeah. Oh, for
I
sure.
think even recently there's an example. We need to set something up where we can pull stuff on screen and show them. But there's an example of someone that's doing 250 or 300 a month or something with no one. It's just them, just one person. Um, and they're leveraging lots of like the new technology to be able to do that. But they've just kept everything very efficient the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's
And I think that's
like, yeah,
I think that's a common misconception, is a lot of people, myself included, for the longest time, just correlate growing with needing more heads. Like if anything, it can sometimes even be the opposite. You can go from 100 to 200K a month and actually have less people at 200K a month. Which for the longest time, I was just like, well, if I have 8 people at 100K a month, I need 16 at 200, or something to that effect, which is
for the most
so.
part, it's just better. Like you do not need more. You need better, and better actually it ends up being less. Better system, better pay, smarter people, um, and that requires a lot of discipline, and you probably have to make a mistake a few times. I
Yeah.
think like the lesson I had from Flax was just don't hire anyone stupid,
Oh yeah,
uh,
for sure.
and maintain like very high quality, um, and that way like everyone that's really good also benefits because there's less bullshit that they have to navigate
Oh yeah,
to
it's
get things done. There's
a
less people
super
to talk to.
super good analogy or thing to think about is if you got 5 A players and 1 C player, they're like over time that C player will kind of act as almost like a virus to the rest of the team, where they will definitely take everyone else's performance down lower and lower and lower. If you don't find them, get rid of them, and keep that quality and standard up.
I think one of the reasons that happens too is because people look and go, well, hang on a second, this guy's getting like you join a sports team and like everyone's grinding and then there's these three people that never do everything, but they keep getting playing time. It doesn't
Yeah,
actually make any sense, you know? It's just like, hang on a second, like oh, to be on this team, you don't need to have a high standard. And
yeah.
and really good people want a high standard. So then they go, well, wait,
Why
why
am I here?
why am I hit? Why would I do this? This doesn't make sense. You actually end up like doing the opposite you want to your culture. Instead of trying to get the C player to be better, they end up bringing everyone down and everyone leaves.
Yeah, and it's super true with that. There's so many other effects of it, but yeah, your A players are naturally going to go down.
And
Um,
they'll question you as a leader. They'll go, why would you allow this to happen?
yeah, and that kind of leads to the effect of that. I mean, I know we've touched on it in other episodes as well, but one of the most important things, and arguably the most important, even over like clients, um, signing new clients and things of that nature is talent, and the talent that you can find. Because really, if you can get the best talent, nothing else really matters. I mean, that's what's going to push 95% of things forward. Um,
That's what the best people do with their time. The best executives,
they focus on getting the best people in the
CEOs,
right seat.
C-suite, VPs, like anyone senior in an organization, the people that are absolutely best spend most of their time recruiting because it's really hard to get really good people to join because they're usually deep entrenched in other companies or running their own companies. And so in order to recruit them, it requires a lot of effort and it's fully a sales rate and it should be very targeted. It's almost um, like with cold outreach to get clients, sure, you can reach out to loads of people. But if you want a really high success rate, you could just pick one company and you could just sit on it for a month and you could collect information by talking to different people at the company, finding people that know the decision makers and eventually getting warm intros into the company. Your success at closing that deal is way, 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 way higher. And yeah, maybe you want a bit of a hybrid approach when you're doing outbound or building a clients. If you're building an agency and this is like, you're trying to get to 100K a month, you don't necessarily need to care really specifically about the brands you want to bring on. Although this is a good strategy, is to just go after one like amazing customer a month and then retain them forever. Lots of companies do that. That's what my new company does now. Um, um, uh, but it's the same concept with people. It's like people compound really well if you do it right, and it compounds really badly if you do.
Yeah,
Uh, the example of it compounding badly is actually not like when you have 8 at 100K a month. If you're thinking that you need 16 to get to 200K a month, usually what happens is you end up with 20. Like you have a bit more bloat because things get less efficient as you're scaling the team. So
yeah,
now you need more people to manage people, and you need a person to onboard other people, and like
and
it becomes messy.
it's easiest to quickly bloat things as well, and it is definitely it's challenging. But if you put a lot of focus into really trying to lower that overhead count as much as possible, um, what you're going to find is you're able to really just get way more from one person. And oftentimes what someone might say is, I can't afford that like top tier talent. Is something that will commonly be said. But the reason you can't is because you have a lot of mediocre talent in your team that's getting dispersed, top one person or one top talent's pay to 5 other people. Whereas if you could just get a system that works for one person where you don't need the other 5, then you can actually get that top talent in.
Yeah,
Um,
1,000%,
yeah,
1,000%.
yeah,
1,000%. It's kind of fascinating. So it's a really simple concept, but ideally what you do is you don't hire until you absolutely need it. And when you absolutely need it, the first thing you should do is try to delete the tasks you're doing, um, or the company is doing, and just remove them as an option entirely. And usually, especially in early days of an agency, I think people tend to add more services or add things that they're doing all of the time.
That's
That actually
not
gives
good.
them more work, and lots of it is like not very impactful to the bottom line result of the client or whatever the agency exists to do. So you delete stuff to start, and that usually frees up a lot of time. And once you've deleted, then you can start automating processes that you repeat a lot. And once you've automated things, then you can explore hiring.
Yeah.
And then you hire people that are really smart and are really good at building new things instead of just doing shit. And if you have a bunch of people that are building stuff all day long, you're constantly automating new systems, and your main service is constantly improving. And that itself is what compounds the fastest. And that's when you put yourself in a position where you can pay everyone really well, you can get really high quality to people, you can fire the bottom performers comfortably, and you don't need to stack a team of C players, because the reality is almost every agency I've ever looked at is a team full of C players. And that is like an uncomfortable truth that if you're listening to this video and running an agency, you need to accept and look at your team and go, hang on a second, if I just took what 3 people were making and gave it to one amazing person, then I would probably grow a lot faster as an agency. I would deal with way less bullshit. I wouldn't have to manage people as much, and I would end up with a much better product and output coming from that one person.
And what normally happens is when you work with really good people and, not inherently stupid people on your team, you actually enjoy the business a lot more as well. So you want to work in it a lot more. Where sometimes if you have a team that you feel is just bogging you down and like a weight underneath you, it can be very, very, very unmotivating to work on the business because you almost get to resent it. So,
Yes,
yeah.
completely. Yeah, so you can 1,000%, especially if you're like a high, like if you're doing this, you're probably already, and look at that AI camera just zooming in on me. If you're doing this, you're already probably a very high agency person already who has quite high standards. And there's the typical like online business advice is from people that aren't that advanced most of the time. So it's not very good. And they encourage you to just hire a VA to do your personal assistant tasks or whatever it is. And then you end up with a bunch of people doing subpar work that barely saves you any time. Because the amount of time it takes to train and then manage and then fix everything that's broken is just not worth it at all. So instead, you're better off hiring the really, really, really high quality person that does it all the way, that does the job correctly. And not only does the job correctly, but finds ways to automate it, delete it, or make it take such little time that they can then go and work on a bunch of other things too. So they are able to expand the amount of context and the amount of stuff that they do. Or do their one thing really well. It just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better until you have everything. If you apply that to every part of the business, everything is super high quality. And as you do that, that's when you compound.
I think the best,
a small team then.
I think the best actionable step for everyone watching this is to write down every single team member that you have, score them on a scale from 1 to 10, and see how many, and how many, number one, that you could remove and keep the systems rolling perfectly fine, and who you could give more work to and or give them better systems to handle more. And if you have no one and you really need a lot better talent and you need to really focus on that, or if you do have the right people in place, go to them and pitch them that idea and get them bought in on it. Because I'm sure if you come to them and say, hey, I've got a plan for you to 3x your earnings in the next 60 days, they're going to be very on board for that.
Yeah.
And always be looking to cut the fat, trim what's not needed.
Yeah, 1,000%. So you've done it to your own team. And like, there's a great example. We did it at Flats. Like, there were lots of good people that we cut as well, but we generally just cut the team size down and focused in on, as best as we could, the people we felt that were best for the new functions that they were going to handle.
Yeah.
And we were able to really shrink the team size down, which made the company way more efficient. It's way easier to run. It's way simpler to run. We can focus on growth way more. We can focus on service quality way more because we went from 45 people to whatever, 11 or something. Like that is so much simpler. And like I would rather 50% the revenue at that with that many people, because it ends up being far more profitable than way more revenue, and loads of people and way more time spent to manage to get less profit. Um, so it's a relatively basic concept, but it's like I don't think people really, really understand it, and even the people that talk about it don't apply it to their own teams. Like look at the people that are working for you and go, cool, is this like the best people can be like $250,000 a year, like starting at that point, maybe like at least above 100,000 a year. Like you start getting high quality people at like $250,000 a year. I haven't hired anyone in a million a year yet, but $250,000 a year, I can tell you, it starts getting way, way fucking better. Like people are dialed in, people know their shit. I'm sat in an office full of like 6 people right now on a Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Like everybody is super focused and everybody is super smart and far more talented than I am in many ways.
Well said.
Hell yeah.
That camera zoomed in like 10x.
Way too zoomed in, man. I can see the stubble on my chin. Oh no, I can see a unibrow growing. It's terrible.
These cameras.
Oh yeah, but this is good. I think like it's also very cool. I think we're making great progress with OB on a completely separate topic. We're getting much better at selecting candidates. We're getting much better with the advice that we give. It's getting succinct. It's getting focused. We're starting to see improvements across the board. I think 2026 is going to be a really big year for everybody. I think this is the year where we start getting, people within 12 months from 0 or near 0 up all the way up to 100K a month. I think that's when we'll start seeing those case studies. And I'm talking about 100K a month consistently, not just like a one-time 3 months. I closed a few deals. Now I hit 100K, but actually building a 100K a month agency, high profit margins, solid.
Yeah, that's another big thing to mention is profit margins. A lot of people hit 100 and they make 10, 20. And it looks way bigger than it is, but we want to focus above 50% net margins no matter what. So if you want that, there is an application link down below this video. So you can scroll down there.
Costs nothing to apply.
It does cost absolutely nothing. And you got a chance to substantially grow the business. I don't think that's a bad trade-off. Do you?
I think it's good. I'm pretty biased, but I think it's pretty.
I think no matter what, person watching this video should go down in the description, apply, see where it takes you.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Boom.
Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Later.